we take a breath of fresh air. We take a sigh of relief a little bit, all right? A lot of you guys who have tuned into my channel for a long, long time, you've sat across from me for a couple of years, you've kind of gotten to know me a little bit, but this right here, this is where I prove my worth, okay? I am in my element when the stock market is doing this. And I had a hard time referring to something that a lot of folks had a hard time to acknowledge even existed, right? Because the stock market over the last 10 years has provided nothing but returns and validations. And for a lot of people, they thought that they could just jump in and win at all costs, all right? And I have warned against that line of thinking, setting yourself up for certain disappointment if you approach the stock market frivolously or not in a responsible manner. Okay, these are indications of what the stock market typically does, all right, from year to year. And what you need to really understand for you guys that are out there and you're new investors or you just got started in the stock market, this is going to be a call to action for you guys. And this is where I can provide you guiding steps, okay? There's only so many videos on YouTube that I can watch with regard to talking about the stock market crashing all the time, all right? And you can tell by my intensity, that type of thing either is for the creator's benefit or to mislead would-be investors, all right? And it's just not, it doesn't have its place. It doesn't, all right? So for you guys that have entrusted some guidance or have received some level of education and guidance on more of a philosophical approach to the stock market. And guys, to be honest with you, man, anybody's approach to the stock market, you are going to be your worst or best enemy, okay? And what I mean by that is your success in the stock market is going to be determined by your plan and how rock solid your plan is, okay? Now, I tend to focus more away from the actual holdings, which is what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to provide you guys the absolute 5 best ETF index starts in the market. And for a lot of you guys, I've done the groundwork for you, okay? I'm putting a playbook in front of you guys. If you've been sitting on the sideline for the last 10 years, or you've started investing in the stock market, and this is your first correction in the stock market, it's only going to make you tougher. Now, if you have been on the sidelines and you want that entry into the stock market, I'm providing you that entry, all right? Now, what I define an entry as, if you have $0 to $10,000 of invested capital, coming out with a video that tells you how to invest $100 is absolute, it's nonsense, okay? It's not. You have to take more of a strategic plan in entering the stock market, in that you've got to build up some savings. You have to prove to yourself, not me, yourself, that you can pay yourself first. And if you can't pay yourself first and understand that a piece of your income can be siphoned over into an investment account to be invested seeking greater than average appreciation, right? To outpace inflation or to outpace what you can get in traditional means, i.e. a savings account or something, then you need to work on your conditioning to become an investor. And I talk about this all the time in my catalog. And it's very, very important to where you need to be eligible to be able to receive this message. You really do. And for you guys that have been with me for a while, maybe you're looking to make your first move in the stock market, I'm here to tell you that these are the types of corrections that you want to take advantage of, all right? You're being provided a correction within a bull market right now, okay? Let's just cut through if you watch the news medias right now, you'll be nothing but misled. You'll have no idea what to do, all right? And this is a lot of where when folks look at a one-day session in the stock market, this is where they look at it and they say, investing is gambling, okay? How can you justify it any other way? I'm looking at the stock market right now in one singular time frame, and I'm saying I've lost, maybe $1,000, maybe $10,000, maybe multiple tens of thousands of dollars, and you're saying, how is this productive? I don't understand it. But when we stretch it out and we look at the long term, we look at names like this. Today is providing a singular entry point into these particular names over the long run. All right. So for you guys that are new investors and you're sitting on the sideline and you are young, this call out is for you. I'm calling all new investors to come and heed my message as far as your entry is being provided in the stock market. And these are rare opportunities to start to scale into the stock market. Is it going to go up from today's point on? That's not why we invest. We are investing to start to establish a base, all right? And this is your first buy point of what I anticipate to be many, 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 many buy points along your life. There has been no better time that's been provided in the relative short term in the stock market than to start to identify these buy points. And for the last 2 years on the Independent Investor channel, I haven't been able to provide this value to you guys. And as the stock market does continue to correct down, where it finds its bottom, I don't know. So for all you folks that want to time the market, you're out of luck, because I'm not going to tell you what the perfect entry point is. What I'm going to tell you is you probably have a pretty good entry point right now in any one of these 5 ETF index funds. I've got 4 ETFs on the board here and 1 index fund for you guys. And these are the best as far as I could identify for getting your passive start in the stock market with regard to your S&P 500 exposure. This is going to stretch you out, and these are all similar in nature. These are going to give you the exposure to the 507 companies in the S&P 500, all right? Now, the first 2 you guys are going to recognize. You guys are going to recognize VTI, which is the total stock market index. I wanted to throw an offering on here, which I honestly feel is the best for lower risk tolerance investors. If you said, Ryan, I want exposure to the entire stock market, unlike these other 4 that give you specific exposure to the S&P 500, the VTI gives you a total stock market exposure, whether it be large company growth, large company value, mid cap value, growth and income, and small cap. So the VTI is going to expose you to just over 3,600 companies at what I feel is an expense ratio that we are willing to accept for an entry-level investor, right? Now remember, everybody else on YouTube wants to talk product, Tesla. We got to talk about Tesla, right? We're talking about product, all right? Don't miss the side niche of the Independent Investor channel, right? The other side of the coin, which is going to give you over half of your total overall earning potential back to you as an individual investor. It's going to give it back to you, right? Where we take these super low expenses and we house them in the tax protected and wealth preserved account, the self-directed Roth IRA, right? So I know how much value that is on that side of the house. I just find it interesting how I'm the only one that talks about it on YouTube. I'm the only one, honestly. The larger channels, they don't even talk about it. They always want to focus on finding some sort of alpha in the stock market or finding that perfect stock. Tell you what, you take that perfect stock and put it in the wrong account, you will lose over time. You will lose, all right? Now, the next one is the SPY. Many of you have heard of this. This is going to be State Street's offering for their S&P 500. You notice here that the expense ratio is a little bit more than the Vanguard offerings at 0.09. We're still talking about an acceptable level of risk in the stock market and an acceptable amount of expense within this particular ETF offering, all right? So if you were looking for a starting position, whether it be 5 shares in the SPY or the VOO or the VTI, now is that time where you might want to take that initial starting position. Again, not to sell out next year, not to sell out 5 years down the line. We are looking to own these accounts indefinitely. We are looking to call investors to go from a non-investor to an investor, and that time is right now. It's right now, all right? The SWPPX was an offering that came through the channel, and I had a chance to do a little more research on this index fund offering. Now, this is the only index fund that I'm rolling out through the channel right now in these top 5 passive investment options for you guys. But it is the lowest expense, and it has a comparable exposure to the rest of these ETFs. It's the only offering. I wanted to kind of give a good equal representation from the number of brokerage houses out there. But the SWPPX is Charles Schwab's 500 S&P 500 index fund that they offer at that expense ratio. That is fantastic, and it absolutely deserves to be on this top 5 list at a 0.03 expense. So for you guys that are with Charles Schwab, or you've started your account, they are one of the top 5 offerings for brokerage accounts to start your account. If you're thinking about opening up an account, whether it be through Merrill Edge, Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab, this is your entry right here. And at a 0.03, this is actually, you know, a tenth of a basis point less than the 2 flagship accounts that I offer all the time through Vanguard. And the final offering here through BlackRock is the IVV. Again, the same level of exposure at a similar expense ratio at 0.04 to the Vanguard product. So, you know, if you have your account and you prefer iShares, really, I don't differentiate too much between the VOO and the IVV. It's really just the exact same from a different offerer. And this offerer over here is BlackRock. This offerer over here is Vanguard. But guys, now is the time to start to think about swimming against the current. The stock market is not one of those places that you are allowed to go with the flow. If you go with the flow, you will get crushed. You will absolutely get crushed. And this is why I'm calling all new investors to go ahead and take one small step in the progression of stepping into the market strategically over the course of your life. Now is your opportunity. If you've been on the sideline and you're looking for your entry point, I am delivering the goods to you guys right here. These are the products that we want to be looking at. This is your wheelhouse, all right? I am your guide. I am providing you the course, right, to take your first entry into the stock market by buying your immediate diversification in the stock market. And this is what you're buying when you pick up each and every one of the shares of these funds inside of your self-directed Roth IRA account. And one final thing, do you have to buy all 5 of these? You only need to buy one. You could have $5,000 in this account. You could have $50,000. You could have $500,000. You could have $1.5 million in just one of these names, because you're buying the diversification right away underneath of the umbrella of this 3-letter ticker symbol, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in to this top 5 ETF index funds entries to new investors. This is super important. You're being provided a very rare opportunity during a bull market, moving into seasonality with the Thanksgiving and Christmas season right around the corner. Now is your time to go ahead and start to dabble and establish your place as a participant in the U.S. stock market. Guys, if it's your first time tuning into the Independent Investor channel, you want to subscribe to the channel, man. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button for me as we're trying to establish a base of new investors who want credible information prior to entering into the stock market. Man, I am your guide. This is my wheelhouse. This is what I do. I offer this as a testimonial to you guys. And instead of everybody else talking about the stock market crash, stock market crash, stock market crash, I still don't understand what value that provides to a new investor. We're trying to see the light through a very, very foggy lens right now and provide folks what it is that they need to know to be level-headed in volatile stock market environment, which is what we have now. Leave your comments at the bottom, guys. If you have different offerings for exposure to the S&P 500 or the total market index, leave those in the comments section. I'll get back to you and start to foster a dialogue of excellent products out there that get you your upfront diversification at the lowest expense in the industry. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and good luck in your investment future.